Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and with me today I have...
My name's Tony McGrath. I'm the president and CEO of a social enterprise called OndeWork.
And OndeWork, from what I found out about it, is it's as it's described here, it's a way for employers and employees to find work, presumably on demand. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. So maybe you can give us sort of the bird's eye view, and then we can drill down to the other stuff.
Absolutely. So we're a Canadian-born social enterprise, and our mission is to get people in underserved parts of our population, like Indigenous and immigrant workers, who stand ready to get into the workplace. So they've got bank accounts and home addresses and so on. We're providing a pathway for them to get into the construction and other similar industries with a first step on the ladder as a temporary unskilled laborer.
Okay, and how exactly, I assume it is online, I would assume. So how, if I'm an employee, let's say, how do I go about doing that?
Okay, as an employee, our web-based portal is really super simple. You go online, it's basically name, address, their email. They're required to put in their bank account details. We use Stripe as our financial conduit. So it's a very simple Uber-style step-by-step registration for them. Once that's completed, we require them to go away and take 30 minutes to complete the WMIS certification online, which is free. And at that point, they get back to us and we conduct a very brief interview with one of my team to establish that they are in fact ready to go to work and what some of their availability is. Once registered each Monday morning on the web portal, they will actually register for that week's availability. So we know exactly who's available, what tickets they have, and where they are.
Okay, and from the workers, sort of the employer's perspective, how does it work from there for them? Because we are in a labor shortage that's not going away anytime soon.
Super duper easy. Again, on our web portal, register the company's name, what kind of worker they're looking for, what kind of pay rate they want to pay. And we also ask, when they've posted a job with us, we ask them to basically pre-authorize the day or project's work on either their credit card or another card from the business.
And it's the shortened form is on demand workers.
Yep.
So, but I would assume that doesn't just mean, okay, we need somebody, to throw a hammer around for a week. Not that there's anything wrong with throwing hammers around, but I'm sure this covers the gamut of different skills and different roles in construction.
No, we're actually being quite defined in what we're looking for here. We want to give people the unskilled opportunity to get the first step on the ladder. So the industry generally has a huge challenge with recruitment. They've got to place an ad, they have to gather the resumes, do a short list, do some interviews, go through an onboarding process, and then 3 months probation. And very often there's a fail rate within that. That's quite expensive and time consuming. With OndeWork, what we're actually proposing is that they can have a trial run with a temporary worker to establish if they know one end of a drill from the other, they know how to use a tape measure, and they have the ability in their English language to understand basic safety instructions.
Okay. And I noticed also on your website, you're tied in with an immigration consulting company. And how does immigration work into this whole thing? Presumably it's people who've just gotten here and this is kind of their first step in the ladder.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example. We're working with some of the Ukrainian organizations now in Alberta, and we've got an influx of workers from the Ukraine that have good basic construction skills, and maybe even, for instance, some carpentry skills, but they can't transfer their tickets over to be carpenter. So they're considered unskilled labor here. So we're going to be trying to get those guys to get their first step on the ladder. And we know in industries like construction and warehousing and manufacturing, a lot of project managers and future skilled workers come from the unskilled ranks of those organizations. So we will actually provide the temporary worker. Should the organization decide to hire them full time, there's no fee. So that's really differentiating us from any kind of staffing agency or recruitment company. We have no desire to hold on to them as an asset, as a temporary worker. We want to provide a conduit for people to get into the industry. So we don't have a bank of workers that we maintain month after month. Our goal is to get them into full-time employment and start to bridge some of the employment shortage gap that we're seeing out there at the moment. So there's a high attraction for any kind of employer looking to bring those kind of workers on board. They don't have to go through the painful recruitment process themselves. We'll take care of that for them. So shortcut to get a guy on the job and kick the tires, if you want to use that phraseology.
And you mentioned you started in Calgary and you're expanding outward. What was the initial, where did the ideal spring from, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, were there conditions in Calgary that made you say, hey, this is a thing that we need to have happen here?
Yeah, well, Calgary's started to open the door again to business after COVID and our own economic collapse here. So I've been brought on board by two founders who run a asbestos remediation company here in Calgary. Lovely, lovely people, and they had been staring a labour shortage in the face. So they came up with the idea, basically because of their own challenge in their own company. So one of the things that they felt was really imperative is that we provide an opportunity for unskilled labourers to upskill. So we're going to be launching a not-for-profit that works alongside of us that provides the financing for people to get tickets like asbestos and some of the more basic tickets that you would need on a construction site, like the high working certifications that are around. So they came up with the idea of a social enterprise working with a not-for-profit to fill the employment gap that they had and provide a base of unskilled workers that we're giving a platform to upskill for. So it was their dream. I'm a very seasoned, scale conscious entrepreneur with a background in tech, not-for-profit, and internationally. So my role is to get the story out there and expand this business quickly across Canada. So it was a dream of two people here in Calgary who faced the problem themselves in the industries that we're targeting. So this is not a pipe dream from somebody sitting in a basement with a tech platform.
Okay. And I guess if you're going to expand outward, what are some potential hurdles in that case? Because I'm sure their regulations are different from place to place, from country to country, and there's just things you got to address.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at most of this. Some of the challenges with staffing agencies is the guys have to wait quite a while to get paid. So we've overcome that particular barrier, which has always dissuaded workers from joining any kind of temporary work platform. We don't involve ourselves in WCB or payroll because the worker is temporary. It's a temporary worker for the employer, and we hope they hire them full time. We're hoping that they go to work with their own safety equipment when we can afford to fund that. And we've got a couple of employers doing that up front for us right now. So we're really trying to differentiate ourselves from a regular staffing agency or a recruitment company. That's probably our biggest hurdle right now. So when we call employers, they go, yeah, I've been through this 1,000 times. We are absolutely different. We're not intending to hold on to the worker in any way, shape, or form. So that differentiation from a marketing and an understanding point of view in the market probably is a bit of a challenge for us. From a regulatory point of view, we think we've thought through most of those, but of course, we're a startup business that's been around for a little while now. I'm sure we're going to face some of that. But we're already in revenue. We're already got our team together. We've already beta tested. All of the normal problems around a tech platform like this, we've overcome and worked with. So it's been about a year in the making, and the platform is performing well for us at the moment.
Okay, and if people are interested, and I'm sure they are, where would they go to find out more details on this?
Okay, so our website is www.ondework.com. That's ONDE work, WORK.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name's Tony McGrath. It's very easy to get hold of me on there, and I can get one of my team to give you a call immediately.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Warren.